Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a place where we roll dice, we tell stories, and we create magic. We are here with our awesome crew in the Unearthed Arcanum. Everybody take a look at your camera, wave, and say hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hello. Welcome. Good to have everybody here. You guys want to play some D&D?
Yes.
No, wait,
Good.
That's happening tonight?
Very much.
That's tonight. Tonight's
Oh.
D&D. Tomorrow is that thing that you're thinking of.
Got it.
The one with the 12 moons. Gotcha.
I hate you all already. Cool. For those who have no idea what this is, hi, we are a D&D live stream that runs every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, having 4 parties existing, living, and breathing. And you know, kind of walking face to face to a mirror, and then, you know, taking a long rest, and then, you know, just kind of going to another plane of existence in the same homebrew world, the wonderful, beautiful world that is currently named Imea,
Which is totally flat and has 12 moons on the bottom.
it is not that. None of that is true. Any of that is said
I'm speaking
untrue.
it into existence.
no.
It's like a bundt cake.
Rolling
Right.
that 20. Rolling
That's
that 20.
I got you. I'm gonna take a picture.
If it's a natural 20, you had disadvantage, I guess.
Silvery barbs.
Okay.
Silvery
well,
barbs
You
on that.
turned my nat 20 into a 9.
All right, great, awesome. Glad we wasted that on that. Yeah. So if this is your first time here, welcome. We hope you have a blast. Some announcements before we get going into tonight. I'm going to try to move as quick and as swift as I possibly can. Firstly, tomorrow we have our Humblewood one shot, which might actually be full up. I had to check real quick because I forgot to do that. But for those who are unfamiliar, who have not been keeping up to date, first off, shame on you. Second off, Humblewood. So we're running it's a full list tonight or tomorrow night. So next week, check it out. But let me explain to you what Humblewood is. Humblewood is a D&D setting for those who are interested that have been playing D&D for a while or are familiar with D&D and anywhere in between to be able to play as their favorite woodland creature of the land or sky. You could be a chipmunk. You could be a rooster. You could be I forgot that you could be a rooster in this game, actually. I totally forgot about that. You could be a rooster. Be a rooster. And come play Humblewood. As there are custom races, a couple custom subclasses, whole slew of new magic items, a couple feats, things like that. It's super fun. It's a blast. And for Humblewood Silk and Sunder, which is what we're naming this campaign, we are in the back half. We are somewhat close. I'd say we're in like the home stretch. And other phrases that would be like saying something without saying anything. We're close to it. You can too. You can join too. We have our Saturday game that is a drop-in, drop-out campaign. So that means you can join for a single session. You can join for multiple sessions. You can take a break, come back, or you can play through the whole thing if you'd like to. So it is fully up to you. So it's like a one shot or it's like a campaign. It's like a little bit of both. If you would like to check that out and possibly sign up for next week's session, because I'm sure we have a couple spots still open, you can go to startplaying.games/GM/It's a Long Story. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, it is in the video description below for you to be able to scroll down and click with your mice or your fingers. So do that. Also, for those who are watching on Twitch, I'll put it in the live chat so you can see that link as well. Cool. Please check that out. It's super fun. It's spooky and creepy, but I try to make it a little at least like more like Goosebumps sort of spooky and creepy, so that it's also really fun and silly and funny because you're all playing little, you know, chipmunks or other woodland creatures, and that's silly and fun, and we love that. So please check that out. Let's see. Also, is there any new info?
About It's a Long Story, Tales of the 12 Moons.
No, none of that. And I rolled an 8, and I'm going to say that it's just his fault why I rolled an 8. So no, there is currently no new information about the upcoming 5th campaign, but there is news that there is going to be an upcoming 5th campaign. For those who have been hearing the 4 campaigns in the same homebrew world, there is going to be a 5th. So if you are interested in possibly joining the It's a Long Story family, your chance is coming soon, hopefully in about the mid of September, which is just about when the new D&D Player's Handbook is coming out. So we will be copying over and we will be using those rules for that. So I'm very excited to kind of give a solid leap into the summer of 2024, end of summer 2024 with that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be sick. It also will be taking place in the same time, but not exactly the same place, in another world, so to speak, same world, another country, we'll say, which means that we will be eventually changing the name of the world of Imea. I know. It's crazy. So yeah, if you are interested, please just honestly just keep in touch. Make sure you're watching the other streams, as I'll be trying to give more information out. And very soon, once we have everything kind of like locked into place on the basic idea of where it's going into, I will be putting out the feelers for the new campaign on that same link, that startplaying.game/GM/It's a Long Story. So if you need to see that again, do you see that little slide again? There it is. So that's where you would find that. So if you were not interested in playing Humblewood, how dare you? But you are interested in possibly being a 5th member, or a 5th, part of the member of the 5th campaign. That's your chance. And that's it on that. Last, if you're interested in supporting the channel and getting closer to the It's a Long Story family, a great way to do so would be to like and subscribe where you're watching this, whether that is on Twitch or on YouTube. Also to check out our Instagram and I almost said Instagram and YouTube again. Instagram and TikTok, which is down below right there in that little spot right there where you see the Instagram logo and the TikTok logo. I know our brains are just like, now forced to kind of ignore it, but it's there. It's right there. It's over there. You can see it. And that is at It's a Long Story _TTRPG. We have a lot of fun clips, some of our favorite moments, most of them just funny moments, but some of them also really cool. We also have the new Reckless thing that Kay has just sent me a rough draft on. I will not be able to watch it right now, but I will during the break. And if it's good, it'll be up probably tomorrow. So please check that out. And if you feel so inclined to like and subscribe on there as well, it helps us out a ton. We appreciate it. You certainly don't have to. If you do not, we will understand, and we still love you. That is it for my announcements. I totally forgot to check who is doing recap today.
It's me.
Hannah Rose.
Hannah Rose. Evan is pointing in the wrong direction and confused me, but yeah.
Well, it's not going to be someone over. Wait, fuck. Someone over there did it wrong.
I guess if we're playing by like Nintendo rules, it is over
it goes
there.
across.
So you're right.
It goes across.
Yeah, you're right.
It's Pac-Man.
Exactly. Pac-Man rules. Cool. Well, Hannah, before we start today's session, we do need to get a recap of where we left off. So Hannah, please take it away.
Yeah, so last week our session began with Kara asking Alistair and Gwen to join her up in Hadrian's room to try to help with Brahm's current situation. Before they began, Kara did call down to Yori, who came up as well. Once they were all kind of in the room, Kara started to scry, trying to find out some more information about our shadow creature friend that she had gained from a vision from last time, where the name La Ahad shows up for the first time. which we learn is this entity's name. Luckily, before a deal or potential situation occurs, Mask pulls Kara out from this, and Brahm begins to convulse on the bed. Alistair, pulling a little bit of Imea anatomy, jumps onto Brahm and begins doing chest compressions. And then, before he's able to get into it, realizes, oh, he still has a heartbeat, but it's just really slow. Moving from that, they start mentioning that they want to reach out to Dr. Kestrel. And originally, Alistair asks Gerald to send a letter. But then once Hadrian enters, he decides, you know what, I'm just going to do this. This is fine, whatever. And decides to take that information and head down and head out to pass that information along to try to talk to Dr. Kestrel. Hadrian also informs the group that the name La Ahad stands for no one. We move over scenes to Prim, where we are seeing a flashback of a fight when the first time that Prim had entered the Azumari pits, seeing Adelia for the first time. We get the sounds and the action and the brutality that is shown. And right before anything more can occur, a knock is at the door, and Alistair walks right in without any regard to Prim's situation. He begins by apologizing for his behavior and for anything that he may have said that may have come out awkward, and quickly realizes Prim is in the bath, and vulnerable is potentially a term to use, but it might be more for Alistair than Prim in that situation. Anyways, continuing on, that leads to a discussion about Prim's scar from her incident, where it was taken from a Fey portal, leading to both Yori and Alistair studying it slightly, and her saying that it was healed by her friend Kavish. Alistair, at this point, begins to offer to build Prim a new arm. After some back and forth, they agree to work on potentially making a new arm, and they bond over potential cooking projects to come. Cutting over to Gwyn with her bath time, we begin with the list of sending messages that she has, as she is trying to quickly send out a bunch of things to people before she hits the Feywild. Her first one goes to Aunt Cat, which was that letting them know that we're headed out, and Aunt Cat was very much so like, thanks, okay. And gave as much sass back as possible. Her Uncle Charles sent her a message right before Gwyn could that revealed for some reason the uncle can speak more than 25 words per message. That was the key takeaway from that message. Nothing more, nothing less. And then Alistair, proceeding to walk in again on another bath time scenario, begins to have a conversation with Gwyn in the bath, and they begin to delve deeper into some of their early relationship situations. After venting his frustrations about Nalani leaving, there is an unknown shift that seems to occur within Alistair. With a slightly different personality, the couple reflects on the impact of Nalani leaving the group. Suddenly mentioning Alyssa, Alistair insinuates wanting to study her and understand her more. Leaving the room back as himself, though, Alistair has a slight internal conversation, which is foreshadowing a conversation that then happens later with Alistair and the rest of the party. With a final message, Gwyn sends out to a Professor Montgomery, where a back and forth reveals that her position will be filled in 5 to 10 days unless Gwyn comes back. One more sending arrives, letting Gwyn know that Melissa, the head of the library, is taking a short leave of absence. Going over to Yori, we see him heading to the kitchen, using metal and flame to clean himself quickly. The dirt evaporated with a puff of smoke. He's confronted by the chef of the house, who assumes that Yori is a child wanting food from the streets of Dare's Wharf, unsure how he got there. So he promised him food if he comes to the back door. Yori runs out the back door and then proceeds to go back around the mansion to the very gaping hole where the front door used to stand. Kara and Mask begin to have a conversation, confronting each other about Lahad and their potential severance of a relationship that almost occurred in this, leading to more discussions that kind of realize their connection might be a little bit deeper and needing to be reinforced, as there are no worshippers in the Feywild and there is no god that is all powerful. And so that ends with lots of discussion, and finally the Mask changing their own form to be a Leonin in armor, which is Kara's old friend Brooke. Io is confused about where everyone is as he cannot find them, stumbling onto Kara in a bath. Everybody just ran into each other in bathtubs last game. It then turns into a situation where Kara asks Io to go take a bath, and potentially Io and Callisto have a long, heated debate about why bathing needs to occur that may have accidentally derailed their train of thoughts. Francis returned with all of the loot that he could in tow. However, he could not find everything, including Pest, who was asked for specifically by Kara. He does mention that the invasion force from South Imea that had been referenced in previous sessions is not that urgent of a situation, as it seems like they are just trying to give a slight push over a full-scale invasion. This then turns into a situation where Francis realizes that Hadrian had decided to send the letter instead of summoning someone to deliver the letter. So Francis heads out to find him after learning that he went to go do it instead of having one of his many minions. Then we shift scenes once more with Alistair handing out buttons to the group. He drinks a potion that he had from when he first arrived in Dare's Wharf, sprinkling in a small amount of Dominium into it to increase its potency. This then blocked any of the other personalities inside of his mind from being able to take control and having to sit back and watch. He explains that Undaleth, who they found in a cave, had entered his mind and has wanted to understand how magic can be contained. Alistair then explains that Hothir is not fully dead, only wounded, and Hothir was taken to this corner of their mind palace that Alistair does not have access to. Yori provides the extra details for Prim to better understand the entire conversation, and it is also revealed that he had no control of Hothir and built a machine to house Hothir as a battery. The Fae also had something to do with Undaleth's situation, but we don't know too much more about that. There is even theorizing that Alyssa, one of the many rods and or potential children that are running around at the moment, might actually be Undaleth's kin that was also brought up. After everything is brought up to speed, Yori reveals that Huxley burned down his warehouse, now presenting that to the entire group so that we are all on the same page there. After finding a loophole to get the name of the famed being that has Maeve, Gwyn casts legend lore in regards to the being. The Queen of the Unseelie Court is revealed as we learn about her and her minions. Her court consists of the Shadow Prince, who looks over the comings and goings of the Unseelie Court, the Gloaming Warden, who is the master and ruler of the Wild Hunt, and the Twilight Oracle, a seer who helps guide decisions and strategies. Those that enter the court uninvited are forced into servitude by the court and their minds wiped to only serve the court. The Queen of Air and Darkness is the one who can call forth that Wild Hunt. This legend lore plays out, explaining a lot of information that is pertinent to getting to the Feywilds and helping to track Maeve down once we get there. Running to Hadrian when he tries to come back to the broken home, we see Daphne and Missing following shortly behind him. Kara approaches Missing and reaches a hand out to shake, and as they clasp hands, Kara tried to do an insight check, and we ended the session there with Joe asking the million-dollar question of, are you sure you want to do that?
Great. Awesome. Anything we need to add, gang?
I don't think so. That was great.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate it. Cool. Well, I think we are ready to go. So let's do it. I think we cut in on a scene of kind of a close-up sort of portrait of two figures staring at each other, both extremely pale in skin, one having the white eyes almost reflecting from the deep purplish light glowing in the others. This figure had recently pulled down their hood to reveal messy black hair, a very somewhat androgynous looking face, and sort of a pensive, if not like tad bit arrogant expression. As we see Missing staring at you, Kara, I start today with the same question. Do you really want to do that?
I think she squeezes his hand tighter as she thinks about doing it. But she remembers the conversation she just had with Mask. And her apologizing for always having to pull her out of shit. And how he's already warned her about Missing. As much as she wants to, because that conversation she just had with Mask, she thinks better of it, and she does not.
Great. So, in the light of that, I would like you to give me an insight check anyway. So this is not relying on your ability whatsoever.
Arcane alloy dice, let's go.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, that's really good. 23.
Nice.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, that's not 23. That's 28.
28. Okay, cool. With a 28, and I like to picture, based on that choice, that it is now kind of moved just a bit forward into the dining room of you two kind of like sitting across from each other. As you're staring at the face of this changeling, I think you see a lot of... Before I answer that 28, something I probably should have asked beforehand is, what is in Kara's mind right now? You've never seen another changeling that you know of, at least not in their natural form like you.
I think there's a lot of concern because, as far as she knows, I'm thinking back, we have never interacted with Amira while she had Mask. All of the interactions came before she was with Mask. And now there's
Correct.
a changeling with purple eyes sitting across the table from her. So I think she's nervous. She doesn't like that Hadrian went into that himself and then has identified himself in connection to her. Because she has to leave it all behind and hope that nothing happens to them.
Mm-hmm. Is there any bit of natural curiosity, or do you think that Kara is almost convinced that this is a mirror?
I don't think she's almost convinced. There's a good chance it's a mirror. She doesn't discount that, but I don't think she has a natural curiosity about her kind. She's still dealing with that innate hatred for changelings that was ingrained into her whole life, even though she is one. So, like, she's barely coming to accept herself, so her curiosity about another doesn't really exist. It's more of a fear of danger from the others.
Okay. Interesting. The first thing you get with a 28 is this feeling that I think kind of creeps in the same way that you, in a way that Kara, you would be most concerned about people looking at you. In almost a studious, almost like looking at you as if you were behind a plated glass window. Which feels odd. Not because this isn't something that you've been concerned about before, but in the idea of looking at a changeling and kind of like wondering things about you, what makes you tick, what is your you see that missing kind of is like studying you and trying to like look for something. You're not sure if it's something specific or if it's something that's personal or what have you. Eventually, they pull back. I get the feeling you're not a fan of your own kind. Rolled a nat 20.
I don't know if I've ever met my own kind before. One I believe I've met was not very trustworthy or kind.
Almost seems like you're accusing a snake of being a snake, or a spider being a spider. Is it not a natural inclination for us to be able to blend in? And as she does, as they do, they turn into a perfect visage of Alistair.
That was not the issue I had with this other being. It was their inclination to hunt and kill.
Well, I imagine you know a little bit about my recent history to know that some of that has to be true.
I've heard. Why Dare's Wharf?
It's a rebuilding year.
You can change back now.
At this moment, we pull back from this to see everybody else who is in this room. In the like kind of like cut close sort of thing, it's just Kara and Missing coming back. But in that moment, there's a jarring kind of wide frame movement as you all are in here. With that, the music changes a little bit from that. Apologies, I didn't know you. Changes back. I was told that you wanted to speak with me.
Above the table, why did I want to speak with him? I don't think I ever asked to speak with Missing.
I think there
don't know
was
why.
there was at least some accusation that made anybody remember why Hadrian left to go and look for them?
Hadrian had went out to go deliver the letter to Dr. Kestrel because Alistair kind of was like,
That was Francis.
Yeah, no, Hadrian went to Stax or wherever the belly to talk to the new head of the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, but does anybody remember specifically why?
Why Hadrian went?
Why he went and told them I wanted to talk to them.
I believe, I'll be honest with you, I can't exactly remember. I remember that there was some sort of accusation that was made, and the idea that it was that was like enough for him to be like, you know what, that's it. I will go talk to them. As a DM, it's 6-on-1. What do you guys got to remember?
Did we? I feel like at one point. No, that was not it. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Sorry, I've just been trying to figure out why he went to get them this whole time.
He went there and went alone, which was a big thing. It was trustworthy, and he wanted to bring them back to talk, and they came as well. I feel like it had something to do with the fact that you're both changelings, and then also they're more or less the head of the Thieves Guild, and there's an invasion in town, and we don't know what's going on with that or what the thieves are going to do. And you wanted to make sure Hadrian did get killed by Missing, and also Hadrian needs to still be a part of the Thieves Guild to do his job.
So we'll simplify it to the point of saying that Missing won't just outright say, I heard you needed to talk to me. Although I do remember there was something specific. So if anybody can pull back and remember exactly what it was. I
didn't want to see Missing knowing that Daphne
Was it
was
Pest?
involved.
It was Pest.
But why would they go to Missing for Pest?
So Missing is the leader of the Thieves Guild.
So if you want to find somebody in town, and Pest is a part of the Thieves Guild.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know how I would respond to that because she wouldn't want Missing to come knowing that Daphne's there and Daphne wants the rod. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll kind of open it up to this. Just for the record, Gay, if you're not entirely sure why pull someone in, feel free to message me during the week just to make sure, because then I'll make sure that I'm backtracking and getting my stuff in.
Yeah, it's just he didn't say last week, I'm here to talk, because somebody said you wanted to talk to me. That just came up now. I thought that was another reason you brought him in.
Okay. That's fine. We'll work with it. So Missing kind of just like looks at you across the room and looks at everybody and just goes, so I hear there's a problem in town that you were looking to have handled. Something that you guys can do yourself.
There's an invasion force from southern Imea that has arrived. We were down near the docks earlier, and no one seemed to care. So it seems like maybe the city is preparing to hand itself over, maybe. Or at least part of it.
Also, to be clear, there's nothing we can't handle. It's just that we have, there's a lot of stuff we gotta, priorities, and invasion is it's not the highest priority. So,
I found it. Sorry.
oh,
Did you find it?
No, you can finish what you're saying.
No, that was the statement. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're talking about La'ahad and how there's some kind of weird shadow being. And someone mentioned maybe they're connected to Missing in some way, because no one in Missing sounds similar. And Hadrian's like, you know what? It's time to make some introductions, and takes off.
Okay, that makes sense. We're here. Yeah, as far as the invasion, so to speak, I guess I thought that was, the criminals in the Heights' job to figure out. There'll always be a thieves' guild, so.
I would assume
far
the
as
Crystal
what-
Concord's working on it.
I would assume so.
You're not from Dareswarf, are you? Unless, of course, you are, and I'm mistaken in that assumption. I mean, it's hard to tell with us.
Right. No, I'm not. Where I'm from no longer exists. But that's not entirely true either, is it? What am I calling you now?
Kara?
Kara.
There's a figure that's been seen in the city that I'm concerned about. Goes by the name of... It's said it goes by the name of La'ahad. Which means, of course, no one.
Seemed that you were eager to prove what you already know. Heard the name? Not necessarily in Dareswarf. What do you want to know?
What are they?
If I were to venture a guess, they were something like us. A ghost. Phantom. Something that seems to go from place to place without anybody knowing who or what they are, besides a name. So they were here?
They were. In the city.
You with your 28 insight, which I'll kind of carry over, you see just a momentary kind of like flicker of actual concern. They did not know.
You said something earlier when we met. You did it first. Why? Not many of our kind are comfortable like this.
Yeah, I guess I just got tired of pretending to be something I'm not. From what I hear, you've recently adopted an equal composure in more ways than one.
And she's gonna glance at Hadrian, then glance back. I think I just found someone who saw me through it all.
Looks like a warm coat.
This is my city. I grew up in this city, I was raised by it, but as I'm sure you know, Daphne probably told you, I've been gone for quite a while. I'm going to have to leave again. There's still someone I have to find. And I hope, looking at Hadrian again, that when I come back, there'll be something to come back to. I think an alliance with a Thieves Guild could be beneficial for everyone. But I'm not staying, so it's not my place.
Place. Interesting use of the word.
Joe, I
Looks
have
over.
a question,
Yes.
real quick. So when he first when they first mentioned, the place they came from isn't there anymore, but that's not quite true. He continues to say, did he look like he expected a reaction out of Kara on that? Like she should know what they meant?
No, they were pretty confident on that phrase, seemingly almost probably, I think, expectantly waiting for either a question or a confused look.
Gotcha. Okay.
Missing does look over at Prim's direction and goes, I know you.
Yeah?
You're not from here.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Looks back.
I mean, I have information on. I saw that being, whatever. Ran into him earlier, but. Black, tabaxi, shadowy figure. Can. Jump off of third floor buildings for the fun of it. Yeah, I ran into him at the prison. That was a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I guess that lines up with the stories. Admittedly, I will give you this piece of information. I've heard the name and the description in passing, and it's never been met with joy.
Do you know if they're Fey?
Oh, I assume anyone who's not from the material plane is Fey at first, especially if they're messing with those from the material plane. But who knows? Could be primordial. Or, well, and points to Gwyn.
Definitely not Faye.
A woman?
I know. Crazy. Shocking.
I'm just saying, there's more than Fae that like to interrupt things. Doesn't sound like this figure is a god per se, but definitely something that seems to avoid detection at a level that I can only deem impressive.
Missing, can I ask, have you been to the Feywilds?
Well, technically speaking. Of course.
Why
You know
technically?
how we're made, right?
What do you mean made? I was
Oh.
dropped off. I was born and left at an orphanage in Little Nest.
I just
What
found
do
out
you
how I
mean
was
made?
made. Sorry, I did the thing again. You're having a kind of a moment.
It's okay. Fairy. Would you like to mention how you were made?
Is that the same way that you're made?
I honestly don't know.
Oh, I found a book. I guess I was grown to like put you in the ground for a while. They put me in the ground again, but
You see Mystic like kind of like it's a little taken aback at that. Okay, all right. Well,
Are you saying that's how we're made?
no. We're exchanged.
What does that have to do with our birth?
Well, that's why most of us seem to be birthed to completely normal parents.
Are you saying Kara
do
wouldn't
you-
have the word for this, but I have the word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put the baby inside someone else before it's born?
No. It's a little bit further along than that.
What do you do with the exchanged babies?
How would I know?
What would a half-changeling child? Is that common?
I don't know. I don't imagine it is. Typically, we're not well liked, as I'm sure you know.
Hmm?
And living a whole life as a lie is something I'm not familiar with.
So, unique being like that would probably be of interest to powerful creatures.
Possibly. Did you lose someone?
For now. Which is why I want to make sure this city is not only still here when I come back, but better for it. For people like you and me. Which is why I think some kind of alliance would serve well.
An alliance with Faye?
No. The Thieves Guild and the Burning Rose.
Well, as I assume you know, Kara, the Thieves Guild claim no patronage to any of your rival gangs or yourself.
They have historically, yes, but South Imea is at your doorstep, and you know how they treat our kind.
Give me a minute. And you see Daphne is sitting right next to them. And you see there's a moment where they are whispering to each other.
Can I see their lips?
I'm rolling for it. Yes, you can.
The serpent. Love that feat.
You see missing with their you see missing just say this might be worth just working out on the table. And you see Daphne kind of let's see what Daphne says. Daphne shakes her head.
Yes or no?
No, sorry, no.
Okay.
Well, we'll take it under consideration.
Why? Is there a problem, Daphne?
Well, I just think it would be important for others in the guild to be able to have a say, rather than just the leader.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
That's low, so only a 19.
I rolled an 18. Yeah, that's a lie.
Things are moving fast, and I'd like to make sure there were some securities in place before I had to leave.
Securities. Like wondering if we were going to do something to some of the other gangs or their leaders.
I'm not so concerned about the other gangs as I am about this one. This
Well,
one in
you're-
particular.
Hadrian came to us unarmed and alone,
Mm-hmm.
which is either very dumb or very honest. For now, I'm accepting the latter. Also, I'll admit I was interested in meeting you.
Really not that interesting.
I've learned. Well, anything else to ask of the Thieves Guild? And I'll say above board, this is directed to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm in choppy. Did we ask about the dormouse at all?
No.
I don't know if...
No.
Yeah, I gotcha. I was just giving it
Okay.
anybody an opportunity to say, don't do that.
I mean,
For whatever
if your
reason,
character's
yeah.
gonna ask it, yeah.
That's true.
I just don't
He
see
is
why
gonna
we
do it anyway.
would ask
so,
them,
yeah,
but go for it.
who's a dormouse? You know, is that going to take us to the Feywild or something? Do you know how we get there? Is he a wizard? Is he like an actual mouse? The dormouse is different than a mouse, but there's also the word door, which is different
Yori,
than
I
the word
don't
dormouse.
think these are the ones to ask about that.
Oh, this is like one of those. Was it rhetorical?
Sorry, 1 second.
I think they meant relevant to the Thieves Guild.
That's okay.
Have you ever stolen anything from the Dormouse? Is that or?
Have I stolen
Right.
anything from the
Good.
Dormouse?
Excellent.
Well, I haven't. I wasn't aware the Dormouse was in town. Truthfully, it was more of a sense of whether or not you had a belief in something like that, but I always assumed the answer was yes. It's interesting that I assume that's how you're getting in.
I think so. We don't know him. Just that's what we were told. But they didn't tell us information about like what they were like. It was very mysterious, and then Hadrian said some weird stuff about him that like, I don't know, that there's all kinds of rumors. It might be a dark wizard, which is kind of like, I don't know what, dark doesn't have to mean. Anyway, I
don't know about weird stuff. I was just remarking on things that I've heard over the years of.
Yuri, it's kind of fun not knowing, right? We get to find out the story ourselves.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. Are we going like now, or I mean, everybody looks pretty
later.
tired. Yeah. Okay.
Soon.
I have
So
a
you're-
question.
Yeah.
If I may. How do you know me? You mentioned that you recognize me.
Changeling. Do you want me to bring it up in front of all your friends? I'm curious if there's a reason why you're going into the Feywild, and if it has anything to do with one of the members of the Fighting Pets, a certain owner.
I have my reasons.
Last time I saw you, there was someone attached to your hip. If you pardon the pun.
So you've been here for at least a while then.
Here? No. Osmare.
Ah,
I destroyed part of there once.
So did I.
Hey, town destruction twins. That I'll workshop it.
I thought I recognized you. Looking at Yori.
Oh. Well, I'm pretty recognizable. I did the you mentioned the fighting pits. I did that for a little while, and then it was kind of fun to fight, but they kept me. They wouldn't let me do other things, and then also the food was actually pretty good, but not good enough to stay. So I did the thing I do, and I kind of broke out, and I kind of did a lot of damage to the city on the way out because it was big. But then I got captured again. But then everybody here saved me from slavery, so that was pretty cool. But I did get to fight some stuff in the fighting pits. That was pretty, it's a couple different things, and I did pretty well. I didn't die. That's like pretty good in the fighting pits. If you don't die, that's kind of like that's the measure of success.
Look at how far we've come.
I cast Detect Evil and Good that has verbal and somatic components.
Okay.
I know what my party's auras look like, except for Prim, because this will be the first time I've done this in front of Prim. But I've done it in front of Daphne as well, so I would hopefully be able to tell if that actually is Daphne. And I'm curious if Missing's aura matches or is similar to Aura's. Is she actually a changeling?
Counterspell.
From who?
Wait,
From Missing.
counterspell is
Midway.
counterspell.
Okay.
We're gonna play that game.
Their counterspell, but yeah.
Their counterspell. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Cool. So I think that just works, right?
I
'Cause
only
third
have
level.
a 4th level available, so it's a 4th level spell.
Perfect. I like it. They would have only cast third.
Yeah.
Smirk.
Cool. They are indeed Fey. And you get a... They are Fey. You get a... I'll give you a little bit extra on this in kind of the secondary sort of part of this. There's a weird smell of... death or desecration around them. But they are Fey.
And Prim's from the material plane.
Prim is from the material plane, yes.
Would have spoiled everything. No,
Astral.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit better.
We like to collect data.
Sorry, you mentioned earlier that the place that you were from is no longer there. Is this a particular place within the Feywild, or somewhere else?
you know, without that stick, I wouldn't have to think twice about ending you.
I mean, I have a stick. So it's like a backup. I have two, really. One of them has a big old, hammer on the end of it. The other one,
I think we're
pointy.
done here. And you see them get up. Daphne kind of gets up. There's probably, the verbal and somatic sort of things. There was this kind of ricochet of magic kind of coming back and forth.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Alistair, I will also give you this little hint with this because of the detect evil and good on here. As you see them get up, there's just a quick moment where you see a white skull appear over their face, and it just disappears as soon as they're up their full height, which is not very tall. Good luck on your journey. I hope you find who you're looking for. Truly. And you see Daphne. Daphne looks at everyone and looks at Alistair and gives and then walks off.
Can I step in front of Missing before he exits? They exit.
Yep.
I want to leave you with 3 things from me. 1, I'm motioning towards Hadrian, is the only reason that I have to come back here to be what I am. And I'm willing to fight a near god to get my daughter back. Imagine what I'll do if something happens. 2, I promise that I think we would be great allies. When I return, I think together we're capable of great things. And then the third thing, she's going to hand him the Thieves' Guild coin she took from a mirror. The one that killed the wyvern. To remember me by.
You deserve to know. As they go to hand it out in front of them to hand it back to you. There's a new regime now. And drops it in front of you. You can catch it if you want. We don't use old coins anymore.
So I've heard. I'm going to flash my mask. And just turn away, step aside, and let them walk out.
Cool.
I think right before they leave, Gwen's going to just say to Daphne, something's hunting the Fae. If you don't want us to be looking for you too, you should watch out for them. And then let them leave.
Roll me a persuasion check.
I'm still at disadvantage. Roll higher.
What I'm going to ask you, what is your intention here on this? Is your intention to scare Daphne or to try to convince Daphne, like, truly watch your back, there's something else out there?
I'd say maybe a little bit of both. Like, it's definitely not entirely friendly, more of a, you both think you know everything, you know nothing, but watch out.
Okay.
And kind of a little bit of a, don't die, we have a score to settle sort of thing regarding Alistair's pain.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah. So it's an 18.
Okay. Good luck. Truly. I hope you find her.
As soon as they're gone, Joe, because Missing was holding the cane when he was talking about the coin when he was talking about the new regime, I'm going to use my power on the insight on the coin to see what they were feeling when they were talking. So I didn't insight check them directly. Just the coin.
Okay, cool. Man, I think with the 29, I'll just give it to you, honestly, because that's smart. I like that a lot. We'll say if we want to rely on the dice on that, we'll say give me an insight check with advantage, obviously.
That's a 30. It was a 10 and a 19, so it's a 30.
You get the feeling. Actually, this is kind of interesting. With a 30, I will say you get the feeling of. There is an intense sort of feeling of retribution, but not really set up in the idea of anger, more on the concept of righting a wrong that had been done. But that's the reasoning behind what I'm telling you is that Missing was considering how easy it would be to snap Hadrian's neck in front of you. You guys cast a spell on them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to make it very clear above board here. They came understanding that the respect that was presented to Hadrian was going to be respected to them as well, and it was broken.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna turn to Hadrian.
You're muted, Evan. on Eevee Mux.
It wasn't a spell on him. It was a spell. It's like an AoE spell, right? So technically, it's like, you don't cast Detect Good and Evil on a person. It's like on an area, and then you detect Good and Evil, right? So, although then there was a whole counter spell phase. It was. There's definitely room for misinterpretation of what happened. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing misinterpreted in this case. The interpretation was the there was an intended target for sure. The assumption is that anyone who's sitting at the table that's not new, assumedly, knows everything about everyone around them. What a time to cast that when there's two new people.
Yeah, I'm going to turn to Hadrian and kind of glare over at Alistair and just say, whatever work you think was built with the Thieves Guild, I don't think it's there anymore. You need to be extra careful now.
Well, that wasn't exactly how I would have handled it, but it's done.
I'm sorry.
I have been spending a good portion of my life understanding the ins and outs of the Thieves Guild. I'm sure that unless Missing has killed all of them, there are certain people that still owe me a favor there.
Yes.
Kara, as you look at Hadrian and saying this, you feel that flash of what you felt in that coin. He has no idea.
No idea what?
What was on Missing's mind.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Missing. You may be a target.
Sorry. That's a once a day saying. It'll be fine. Trust me. Well, Alistair, are there any other spells you want to cast in my dining room while we're here?
Would you like to know what I found? Or, I mean, it could be important or not.
I guess I hope it's worth it, yes.
Hope it's worth risking Hadrian's life.
Did everybody cast spells? There was like a lot of stuff that happened. Just like you started doing something, and then I think maybe Gwen did, and then Missing did, but then what spell did you cast? What did you find out? I guess.
Aura. Yeah, I mean, if her aura or their aura matches Kara's, then we would know that they're Fey, but there's something different, and you've told us so often about Imure, and I wanted to know if Daphne really was Daphne, and she was, but as far as Missing's concerned, there's more to them than just the Feywild. I think they are far more dangerous, maybe than you even comprehend right now. She seemed to know, or they seemed to know quite a bit about us. I thought it was only fair that we at least understand a little bit more about them.
Asking never hurts before you cast a spell.
There's there could be ways that they could have masked if they knew it was coming.
Snorri used to say, and he had a lot of magic, I think. He used to say that sometimes people who have magic, it ends up filling in the gaps. Like, things that they have a hard time doing, they'll use magic for. And then eventually, it just becomes like a natural thing they do. And, you know, they don't do things that they could probably do on their own because magic can do it, and they don't even realize it. And he said it's just kind of a natural thing that happens with a lot of, well, wizards especially, you know, the magic people. Anyway.
Something that might be useful to understand if you're going to the houses and living situations and, God forbid, courts of other places, that there is a modicum of respect even among thieves when you're crossing over their threshold unarmed.
Respect that was violated.
Okay.
It's done.
It looked cool. Gwen did something with, like, her tail or her hand or, you know.
Yeah,
like
definitely the counterspell came from her tail, for sure. I like that. That's great. But I think she would just look at both Hadrian, but then especially Kara, and just say, we'll keep that in mind the next time we're worried that Amir might be listening in. Sometimes you have to be impolite. But I understand that this was your house.
Correct. In more ways than just the tangible, Miss Gwyn. I will take the responsibility of whatever comes after. Perhaps we should adjourn for the night.
I think so. I think I want to check on Braun before I go to sleep.
Of course, we'll need to move him to one of the guest rooms. And you see Hadrian and then Gerald soon after, kind of like heads out. Io, what are you doing? Dan's just sitting here watching.
Sorry, the mute button would not unmute. I actually thought this whole time Io was still separate from the group in the baths, so I didn't even think he was in the scene.
I like it. Let's do that.
But yeah, so...
I like that. So I think we'll take this moment. Yeah, that works. Let's walk with it. As Yori goes, anyone seen Io? We cut to Io finally finding a bath. Io, first off, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
All right. Okay, that's not going to be bad. Let me just add. Oh, come on. And that is going to be a 22.
22. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, there's as you have filled the bath, you take a cautionary measure of making sure that it's half full, recognizing how long you wanted to be in the bath, as you will be consistently adding to it throughout your bathing time. What is, as we lead into Io in this scene, what is on Io's mind?
So Io is kind of letting the gravity of the situation of traveling sink in, and as he's just kind of getting ready, he prepares to send a message to first Eris, and he says to her, 1 second here, I'm gonna bring up my little cheat sheet. Hey, love, going to the Feywild to save a little girl. Time works wrong there. I want to keep my promise to come back, but I'm scared. And I think kind of just like with that pause, he's kind of waiting for a response. And if he doesn't get one, he's going to kind of get ready to send one to his mom as well.
Okay. You do not get a response.
Okay. Shit, I must have pissed her off. I hope. I'll try again tomorrow. All right, another one. And then you see him bring his hand up to his face again, and this time he says, Mama, I hope you and Daddy are doing good. I'm going to the Feywild. If something happens, I love you. Gotta save a little girl. Might not come back.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me I'm going to say a performance check.
Okay. That is a 23.
Great. It's good to hear from you, son. There's something in the water. Something strange. Dark. Best you be getting far away for now. Stay safe, dear.
Thanks, Mama. And I think with that, especially like the fact he didn't hear back from Eris is really kind of bothering him. So I think as soon as he's kind of sure that he's not going to be causing an extra mess, when he gets into the bath, he completely submerges himself and just like remains under the surface, just kind of thinking about everything.
Cool.
And then you probably kind of hear him like, you kind of have him thinking out loud kind of situation. It's like, what point is this still worth it to me? Am I willing to risk everything that I find important for someone else? And then I think he kind of just wants to, at this kind of point, kind of break the seriousness of the moment. He's like, Callisto, don't be shy now. We've been at this for an hour. You need to take a bath too. Bathing is good for the skin.
You saying this under the water or above the water?
Under the water, telepathically to Callisto.
Cool. You got it. You hear no response.
Fine. Go ahead and stink.
How long do you stay under there?
Probably a good 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Like at this point, he's starting to use his gills.
Sorry. As you come back up, there is a moment. Oh, you end up being in Humblewood. No. As you come back up, there is a weird moment where you feel the cold temperatures against your skin as you open your eyes to darkness. And then you see a singular blue eye open. And then you hear a knock at the door as you have fallen asleep.
Oh. Cool. One moment. Let me make myself decent.
You
Uses
push yourself up out of the water. You see yourself in your normal, in the normal bathroom that you were originally at. You see Callisto is currently wearing a towel on top of his head, just staring at you.
Was I here long?
Yes.
Must have gone to sleep. When I was under, did you sense any presence of anything?
Yes.
Someone else in the bathroom with us?
Yes. Knock, knock,
What
knock. Sorry. Io, sir. Just
Yeah.
checking to
Yes.
make sure that everything's okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. It was just making sure just trying to make sure I'm doing my skin routine. That's all.
I see. Well, very well. I'll check back in a few.
Okay. Thank you. Much appreciated. So, where were we? Callisto, that thing, since you don't have any connection to it, do you know, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Do you think I need to do something to kind of prepare myself for impending storm of sorts? Oh yeah, let me not use a metaphor. Does it seem like this thing is going to be paying me a visit in the very near future? Like I'm talking days, hours from now.
Partner is asking Callisto on means of telling the future. Unfortunately, on this plane of existence, that is not a skill that I have acquired. I can send out away from partner and try to find it in the vastness of the mysterious plane that you call home.
Well, I guess
I've heard tell of bones and cards that could help make that future more clear.
You got a good point. Well, riddle me this. That thing, you ever felt its presence before you met me?
I am blue and green. I sometimes am not seen, but when I am, look out. What am I?
The sea? God damn it, I don't know riddles.
You said a riddle, so
Oh, damn it. Again, no idioms.
I'm so glad
metaphors.
that Evan was the only one that was laughing at that.
I love
Okay.
Callisto so much.
All right. This is a question you might actually be able to answer in a little bit more clarity. This
My
keeper
understanding, I have answered all questions to my best abilities.
Yes, and I appreciate that. So, this keeper of the shard that I supposedly am I this way because essentially everybody in my family is the keeper of the shard? Is it because I've got these weird mutations that aren't normal for tieflings? What is the shard that I'm keeping? That's technically 2 questions. 3.
Technically 3.
Yeah, technically 3. So, can you elucidate any of those points for me, my friend?
Now 4.
Okay, I'm done at 4 for now.
Yes. Yes. Hard to say. Yes.
So, what did you think of the bath since you got the whole towel wrapped on your head?
I haven't taken one.
You should.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and jump in. Water's fine.
Are you in the bath or no? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He jumps in. He jumps in. Yeah. You feel like razor sharp claws on your chest as you like.
Oh, okay. The scars there are still kind of, well, actually not all that tender.
I feel this is. He climbs up on your face. I feel this is not hospitable to a bathing environment, but I could be wrong.
Well, some cultures, bathing
First off,
together and
water's
chilling together.
everywhere, by the way, because it's been a minute. It's been a while since you've been in here. The tub is very full.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to. Okay, I can clean this up before I finish up. Speaking of, okay, maybe. All right, maybe I should get down to business. Okay, let's not take too long in here. Well,
You've been in here for what is counted as at least an hour.
hey, bathing is a very peaceful experience for me. All right.
I have found it to be unsatisfying so far.
I mean, I guess you would say that. I mean, you don't even wear pants, so that makes sense. Okay. At any rate, I guess we should go ahead and finish up here. I think with that, Io gets just into the nitty gritty of the cleaning portion, and as he starts
with him in there,
yeah, why not?
it's incredibly uncomfortable. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. That's a 10.
Not great. Not great
Okay.
for either of you, if it matters.
Okay, Callisto. All right.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and hop out now if you. Yeah, go ahead and hop out now.
I thought I was bathing.
Yeah, and it's a little.
I've spent 1/10 of the time that you've spent in here.
Well, to be fair, you are 1/10 of the size. Just I can finish up here on my own. You go find something to eat.
Was I supposed to be helping?
That oil that's up there. Is there any oil up there?
Yeah, I like it.
If you could apply that to my head tentacles, that would be
What-
great.
I'm so sorry. Just a quick timeout. What a crazy DM thing if I was like, excuse me? There's no oils up there.
Not in Imea, dude. No.
Not in this Imea. No,
You
yeah,
can
Yeah,
ask
please
about it
don't-
in session
Please don't just
zero,
make
so.
oils appear in baths from now on. I'll let you know if there's any oils in the bath.
you know, it wasn't discussed in session 0, so therefore no. Yeah, you feel Callisto jump off of you, claws full out, and that 10 is clarified in the idea that you are having to clean yourself off, and then you are having to put like little bandages on your body, as there are scars everywhere. There's a knock at the door again. Sorry, sir. I'm just making sure that your process has been nearing its end, as there is water that is dripping in through the cracks here into the hallway.
Yep, I'll be right
Once
out.
again,
I'll be right out. I
perhaps
promise.
maybe a towel at the bottom of the door of any room that you're staying in
Yeah,
for an
that
extended
would,
time,
That would not be a bad idea. I could even take.
especially if there's water
Balcony.
already in it.
Yeah. I'll be right out. Like, give me about 5 more minutes, and then I'll be right out. Promise.
Great. Just a small thing. There are also plants in this room, sir. They are also fake.
Gotcha.
Great. I'll get more towels for the hallway. You see as you hear him walk off. Cool. Well, we'll cut eventually. You're eventually you're drying off and collecting yourself, and we cut to everybody as they're preparing for bed. So anything in particular you guys wanted to do, or you guys wanted to RP before we have a long rest?
The only thing Gwen has left is taking care of all of her stuff that I'm assuming is just strewn about the hallway at Hadrian's house. Bro.
Yes, yeah, all the stuff in the foyer that was
Yeah.
left up along the walls.
For sure.
Yeah, cool. I think Gerald started to help you out with that, and then he had to spend a good portion of his time over the past like 20 minutes having to collect towels for the flooding that has taken place into the hallway.
So I think Gwen would have just given him a look that probably was just like, oh man, I'm gonna go collect towels because this girl is going to murder me if I touch anything. So
yeah, okay, I like that too. Yeah, yep, cool.
yeah.
So Gwen, so only Gwen is taking all of her things and moving it into her room.
No, I'm
Okay.
doing a spell. In the
Okay,
hallway.
got it. Like
With the fancy dancy chest that Francis got me. I'm gonna sit with it for a minute, and from the crystal quill, I think you see like these very kind of delicate, almost airy tendrils come out as it sort of envelops the chest for a moment, and then it sort of flashes. And the chest doesn't look any different, but if anybody is watching her, when she opens it up and sticks her whole body inside, like half of her body just goes all the way down, way deeper than it looks like it should be.
awesome.
She has
what's-
secret chest.
Secret chest.
Yes. And then she's going to spend a very cathartic and therapeutic 2 hours organizing her stuff into her little own pocket dimension that she controls entirely for herself.
I like it.
And everything disappears. And I feel like Gerald comes back through and just has a moment of what the hell, because all that stuff should not fit in this chest.
I think he like sees you stepping out.
Don't, it's bigger on the inside.
Right. Well, that's cool. That's great. That's interesting.
And I think we've established before that Gwen is very good at pack ratting her stuff in a way that would be chaos to everybody else, but she knows exactly where everything is.
Yeah.
And as the last item goes in, I think you see just a weight lift off of her, that all of her stuff is back where she can get it. It's hers to have control of. And then she sort of closes the chest and waves her hand, and it just disappears. And she has a little tiny chest replica she puts onto her little charm bracelet.
Nice. I love it.
There.
That's super cool. Well, I'm
and then she goes
not
to find
of the...
Alistair to fix the charm bracelet clasp because it's been broken for 2 years.
Okay. Before you go, you do see Gerald. Well, I'm not of the spell casting type, but you have to show me how to do that. That would make my job a heck of a lot easier, being able to hide anything that would be showing up in the
And it's
house.
very useful. Only I can call the chest back. And she'll snap her fingers and it'll just appear. And then she'll snap them again and it'll go away.
Oh, well, okay, now we're showing off. Okay. Well, good for you. Spellcasters have it so easy.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Excuse me. He's gonna walk back up the stairs with the towel.
It took her a whole day to learn that spell.
Insight check. Just to see if I... He absolutely knows that he's gonna go cry in a corner because I rolled an 18 and a 19.
An 18 and 19. Yeah, he's gonna go cry in a corner. He's also never hated guests.
Yep.
Guests in general in the house more. I don't know how much Gerald is aware of things like involving like melody and things like that, but I think you probably even like hear him whisper like, Melody, anytime you want to come back would be great.
I'm gonna whisper to Houston, oh, I like sassy Gerald, and then go.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else is with me down there. No, he does make that noise even though he's still a spider.
Yep.
And that reminds her, oh yeah, she's gonna go up to her room and spend an hour letting him go back to cat form.
Okay. You got it. Cool.
I'm assuming her room she shares with Alistair. Still.
Yeah, if you come in there, everything has been pulled out of every single bag, and I'm organizing everything and getting everything ready for the trip, like an OCD psychopath.
Okay.
Yes, he will help you feel better.
The bag of holding has those items in it, correct? Those
It
magic
does,
items?
and yep.
Cool.
So
You got it.
yeah, I mean they will be all identified.
All right. Sweet. Well, that's the fun part.
That is the fun part.
So what we'll do here is I will do a kind of quick rundown. I know we've, for those that are watching this, I did a kind of a quick sort of rundown on most of the items, but not all of them. So now we'll do an even quicker rundown of all of them. With the magic, first off, the magic items that you guys requested, we'll assume basically just based on name that the ones that you guys got, that you would, that everybody could look them up on their own. But for these, we'll start with the ones that you know, and then we'll end with the ones that you don't. So first and foremost, the black feather heels. Actually, I'll move this over here so we can. Black feather heels. Black feather heels are a pair of elegant jet black kitten heel shoes adorned with sleek, glossy feathers that shimmer in the light. Infused with harpy magic, these heels grant the wearer the ability to move with supernatural grace and agility. As a bonus action, you can activate the feather step ability for the next 10 minutes. You can move across any surface, including liquids and vertical surfaces, without falling. Additionally, you can jump up to 20 feet horizontally and 10 feet vertically. During this time, your footsteps make no sound. The golden mask of the Harpy Queen herself. Golden Mask of the Harpy Queen is an ornate, beautifully crafted mask made of pure gold. It is adorned with intricate carvings of feathers and gemstones that glitter with magical energy. Aura of Command. While wearing the golden mask, you exude an aura of command. Allies within 30 feet of you gain a +2 bonus to their saving throws against being frightened or charmed. Voice of the Siren. While wearing the golden mask, your voice becomes magically enhanced, allowing you to cast a suggestion spell at will without expending a spell slot. You can only have one suggestion active at a time. While wearing the golden mask, the mask provides a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws. Super cool item. Scepter of the Harpy Rose. Scepter of the Harpy Rose is an exquisite scepter that conceals a hidden weapon. Crafted from the finest materials, the scepter's design features an elegant handle wrapped in dark leather, topped with an intricate rose enchanted with fey magic. This rose can unfurl to reveal a long, slender, thorny whip, embodying both beauty and danger. As a bonus action, you can transform the Scepter of the Harpy Rose into a whip. It deals 1d8 plus Charisma modifier piercing damage and has a reach of 10 feet. You're proficient with this weapon. You can use your Charisma modifier for attack and damage rolls instead of strength and dexterity. Thorned Grass. When you hit a creature with the rosewood, you can choose to have the thorny vines wrap around the target. The creature must succeed in a strength saving throw, DC 17, or be restrained until the start of your next turn. You can use this ability 3 times per long rest. The vines detach from you once the target is restrained, allowing you to move freely and use this ability again. While holding the Scepter of the Harpy Rose, you have advantage on persuasion checks with a creature that would be attracted to your perceived gender. I think, were those all the ones that we
There was a shawl.
Yeah,
No,
so
there's
here's
a
the
shawl.
here's the new ones. So these are the new ones. I was saying, I was making sure we got all the old ones out of the way. Okay. Ring of Luring Song. This ring, adorned with an aquamarine gemstone, is a subtle yet powerful tool for anyone who seeks to influence others with their presence and performance. Notably, this item does not need to be attuned. You can use this ring to cast minor illusion at will to create the sound of a distant alluring song. The sound can be used to distract or lure creatures within 30 feet. While wearing this ring, you gain advantage on all performance checks, enhancing your ability to captivate and entertain. I'll do this in order of interesting. So next we'll go to the Seashell Amulet of the Zephyr. A polished seashell with a light blue tint featuring intricate swirls that resemble wind patterns. It is suspended from a fine silver chain, and the shell gently vibrates with a calming hum. Once per long rest, you can use the amulet to cast Gust of Wind as an action. The spell's effect is enhanced with a soft ethereal melody that disorients and potentially confuses enemies caught in the wind. While wearing this amulet, you gain an additional 10 feet to your flying speed if you have one, making you more agile in the air. This item is also not needed to be attuned. This last one is needed to be attuned. The Black Feather Mantle. The black feather mantle is woven from the dark glossy feathers of a harpy infused with the essence of silent flight. When worn, it shrouds the wearer in a cloak of shadows, enhancing their stealth and granting them the ability to fly with eerie quietness. While wearing the black feather mantle, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed. You also have advantage on stealth checks while flying, allowing you to glide through the air without making a sound, evading detection with ease.
Cool.
I believe that's it.
Yeah, so Alistair was doing this as a ritual, and when Alistair does ritual spells, it involves the Absinthe ritual. So I would say by the time Gwen gets there, and I've done this 7 times, she walks in and I'm wearing black heels, the mask, the mantle, and holding the scepter, standing in front of a mirror, just waiting. I mean, they're all magical items. I'm just saying.
Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Come on, man.
I think Gwen walks in, she just takes in the situation, shuts the door, and she's like, we're maybe not there yet, but we'll talk.
These are the magical items that
I've
Wait, watch this. Watch
Guess that.
this.
Okay.
Watch
I'm
this.
watching.
Oof. Can I do a performance check? I'm wearing the ring too.
Yeah, absolutely. You also gain advantage because of your pixie friend that is helping you.
Oh yeah.
Advantage for attraction or whatever that thing was too. Perceived gender thingy. That would apply.
Yeah.
If it's a
Oh, that's true.
So 16 performance. Look.
Thinking so many things right now.
It's the ring.
Hey, dude.
Yep. Whoa.
That was sick.
Do I?
That's super
I
cool.
don't get that.
No, you don't.
Okay. Just had to make sure.
Hey, either she either gets it or she doesn't.
Hey. Are you?
She's definitely smiling, so.
Don't look at me. Look at her.
Did you want to? I think Kara probably wants this stuff back, but
You can wait a
Don't
minute.
look at me, look at her.
We'll do the spinny thing again.
it. Okay. All right. Hold on.
Oh, she's give you some money first. Oh, okay.
He's to give me some money.
Please.
I don't know if yeah, all right. I'll give him a gold. Maybe
That didn't feel.
maybe
good.
we put the absinthe away now though, because we've got an early morning.
Yeah, I packed everything up already. We're good to go. You're gonna go see the dormouse.
We're going to see the dormouse.
That shit's not real.
You're not real, man.
All right, dude. You see the pixie go and flies back into the bottle.
So Gwen, who did speak to the pixie in Alistair's mind, has an idea of what's happening there and is just gonna ignore.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure Kara would like these things, but I think it can wait till morning.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna head back to my room. Sorry about hanging out in here.
Stay here if you want.
Okay.
I was going to ask you to fix this, but that can wait till the morning too. She
Nope,
just
we'll do
sort
it
of
right now. Nope, we'll do it right now. Gotcha.
hands him the bracelet, because sure.
Alistair, go ahead and give me because I don't think this is a performance check now, because you're not performing. You're actively walking in the heels. So give me a dexterity saving throw.
At disadvantage. Got it. All right. First roll was a 1, so that's a total of 3.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
There we go.
Gwen, roll me a.
You gotta catch me.
I'm gonna say also roll me a dexterity saving throw.
With disadvantage.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm still exhausted, Joe.
Yep.
For
Yeah.
the 100th day in a row.
When are you not?
That is barely better than Alistair at a 7.
Cool. There is a very romantic moment as Alistair wearing the feathered shawl, and so it's a mantle, right, which allows like the idea of like above board to be like, yeah, it's not like really like a gender specific sort of thing, but with the heels, and like there's an idea of like a look that now Alistair is adopting, as he falls and fully kind of like you catch him for a moment in a full dip. And I will give you like 5 seconds to do whatever you want to do before you also fall over.
I think she's just going to say, we'll work on this as we just sort of topple down. It'll take a bit, but you'll get there.
Incredible. Awesome. From here we'll go ahead and cut over to I'd like to cut over to Prim, actually. So Prim, Gerald does like find a guest room for you.
Cool. I kind of Gerald's gonna have to find Prim first. Because I
Okay.
think after the conversation with Missing, she makes a kind of realization that she should have pressured them more to get some more information out of them, and realizes they missed that opportunity of, like, in that moment they could have pushed more, because maybe Missing saw something that night insinuating on that, and now realizes they lost that chance. You had mentioned previously, I think it was 2 sessions ago, that there's a tree out back.
Mhm.
She's gonna go out and start slamming that tree with kicks.
You got it. Cool. So that's where we actually kind of come into this scene with Prim, as we're hearing before we're seeing this massive sort of sound of the full like taekwondo level kicks. Just we hear the like rustling of the trees as we see Prim just going to town on this tree.
She kind of wipes the sweat away from the top of her head, and she just kind of... They fucking had information. They had information. Why didn't I push that? I knew better. They were there that night. Every single... They scared me. Oh my goodness, they scared me. Something about them just kicks into it one more time and just probably chunks the bark off at this point with that kick.
I like it. Give me a luck roll, please.
19.
19. Nice. Cool. You hear a message in your head, and I'm not sure why I don't have this person saved, so give me 1 second.
It's in the chat. Who do I think it is?
But yeah, you hear a message that starts out with, Prim, I hope that all is going well. I noticed that you weren't... there this morning for our rituals. I waited, but now at this point I am concerned about your safety. So if you could please just let me know that you're okay. As you recognize this voice as Beryl.
She'll respond back. Beryl, it is so good to hear your voice. I got stuck in jail for a couple of days. Made it a little hard to get down to the area for our ritual. I'm getting Adelia.
As you speak, you notice that off in the distance there seems to be this odd sort of like green formation that like kind of like almost like poisonous looking like green gas cloud that seems to be moving closer towards your direction until you see this this outline of your Earth Genasi monk friend, who is astral projected himself to be here. So you see him kind of like sitting cross-legged as he kind of just, floats into view. I assumed this would be easier.
Yes, a lot of it. I don't even know how to explain where I'm at.
Kicking trees, it looks like.
Yeah, somebody got under my skin in a way I haven't experienced in a while.
I wouldn't know the feeling. Someday you're going to laugh at my Earth Genasi jokes.
They're good. Don't.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Nothing could get under my skin because it's stone.
Yes. Thank you, Beryl. Are there any other meditations, thoughts, things like that that you want me to do? Because I'm going to be... I've got a ticket to the Feywilds. I'm going after Adelia.
Roll me a religion check, please.
Ooh. Missed. Let's try that again. It's not bad. Yeah, that's what I thought. 16.
Cool. As he responds, you're kind of aware of a couple things. One, that this has been an ongoing sort of situation with Beryl trying to help you to understand the spiritual and calming sort of presence of the skills that you have been gifted, in his words, as opposed to trying to physically brute force anything out. So as he responds with these, there are many rituals that I've already presented before you, Prim, with all the love that I have in my heart for you and what you've gone through. You've chosen to ignore them.
I'm sorry. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to me. You've given me nothing but help over these years.
And this tree has done nothing but give you air. I understand wanting to hit things that may not hit back. Where were you yesterday morning?
Yesterday morning I was in jail.
And why were you in jail?
Because I was in jail for the last couple of days. Because I hit something that did try to hit back.
Prim, you're not being honest with me. Why do you want Adelia back?
Because I love her? Because I miss life without her? I feel like every day I wake up hoping to see her once more, and all I get is disappointment.
You talk about her as something no longer here. So tell me again, why do you want Adelia back?
Because I'm scared that she doesn't love me anymore.
And if that turned out to be true, what would you do?
I don't know. And that's what scares me. There's a part of me that wishes it would be true so that I could move on, so that I could heal and not just be sitting in this feeling of unknown, and be able to stop thinking about the what ifs and the who's and the how's, and I could just change and stop questioning why she was taken, who took her, the millions and millions of questions that I've had over these last 5 years. And I'm scared that even when I do find her, and if she says she doesn't love me anymore, or if she says she's moved on, or this or that, I just lost 5 years of my life chasing a woman who didn't even care for me.
When I look at this tree, it bears so many things to the living creatures that need it. If this tree bearing fruits had an especially good year, does that mean that the winter doesn't take it, make it sleep? Does that mean it cannot start again?
You're right. I hate that you're right. You're very good at this.
I've been around for some time.
Yeah, I can tell. And your puns have clearly shown that they can pass that test of time as well.
Getting a sense of irony from this part of the conversation, which is good. It shows levity. Something that I imagine you, Prim, desperately need, and what you try to force sometimes into dangerous situations.
I'd rather laugh all the time than have the realization and cry uncontrollably.
Sometimes the change that you're looking for has to look like death from the outside, and motions towards the tree again. But inside, it It is getting ready for a new season. I'm not trying to convince you to change your mind. Just be ready. And know that it might be a new season.
But I'd rather know at this point. I'd rather have an answer than anything. Like, if I could just know for certain that one way or the other, I just want an answer. I just want a simple answer.
I doubt there will be an answer that will be so simple to not spurn many more questions.
That's
But I agree. Some stable ground would do you good.
That's going to be difficult with this group. Did you know the most mature person is a child?
I find that to be the case quite often, actually.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Somebody also might be helping me build a new arm. That could be interesting.
I'm gonna roll something for that. Yep, cool. Why do you need this? Have we not spent many months trying to work out how you do not need a physical arm for most things, and for other things that you need to just call upon that inner strength. We've spent so much time on this. I have so many meals that we have had together in discussing this each and every day, and you're making... Sorry.
No, the loss of the arm does not define my ability. With or without it, I could.
Please don't take my actual teachings and turn them around on me right now, okay? So it's just this. I understand. It's all part of the stable ground, yes?
Yes. Well, finding balance and peace with each other. Grow new
I'd be fine.
relationships out of seediness. I listen. I'm sometimes bad about following through.
So I imagine you'll not be here on the new moon a few weeks from now.
I don't know, actually. There's chance. Odds are low.
Roll me an insight check.
You got it, dude. You know what? We'll do this on the D&D Beyond. That was a natural 1. That's an 8.
Cool. Yeah, you're in your shit for sure. You see Beryl just take a moment. That's fine. If you do come back, just make sure to check in. I might have a job for you. A job for us.
Of course. When I'm back, I'll reach out. I have a feeling you're gonna want to know how it goes, and we're gonna have lots to discuss afterwards.
Yes, well, this job, if and when you come back, is full of danger and may result in further jail time, so it's right up your alley.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Beryl. Make sure that I can get very acquainted with the guards.
If you get caught. Well, that is for a different season. Good luck, Prim.
Good luck, Beryl. And may your skin grow strong.
Oh, my skin is already so it's stone. It doesn't get any. It's opposite of tree. When you look at tree, I get it.
We can throw you in a volcano. Maybe that'll help.
Oh, that's very funny. Thank you, Prim. Stop hitting trees. At least until the Feywild, I hear some of them hit back. So.
Ooh. Well, I'll make sure that all of them get at least some. I'll stop hitting trees. I'll stop hitting trees unless it's.
They hit back.
Yes.
Very well. I know not how to end these conversations. Every teaching I've given you, the end of, and you like remember this, that like every like it's such a good speech, but the end is just not, is never like tied
Just
up.
doesn't know how to conclude at all.
Yeah. So, how's everything else going okay? And hope that it's good.
Barrow, it's fine. It's fine. I think, one, thank you for reaching out. Good timing. Sorry for hitting the tree. I'll see you when I get back.
Okay. I'm done talking to you.
You're good. Go.
His disappearance. Cool. And from that, we have a momentary sort of fade with Prim just kind of staring at the spot of where Beryl was. And we fade to black. And with that, we'll take our 10-minute break. We'll see you guys in 10. And we are back. Sounds like Evan's having a little bit of trouble with his stream today. So unless he comes back in the next... maybe now? Evan, you with us? Not quite yet. That's fine. All good. All right. Let's start with Kara then. So Kara, we come into like I think the sound of a closing door, whether it's you or Hadrian, as we move to the master bedroom. Unless there's something Kara want to do first.
Yeah, I did say when they were trying to move Brahm earlier that I wanted to go check on Brahm. So I wanted to do that first and then there.
Okay.
And I want to
You got
have Hadrian and Francis there if they're both in the house.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you do that. So we'll kind of cut then to the guest bedroom, and that's the sound of the door closing there as you're both in the room with Brahm.
I'm gonna walk over to the side of the bed and start. I'm gonna put like the 2 copper pieces on his eyes and start wrapping his head so that the copper pieces stay in place. As I cast, I'm gonna ritual cast it, so it's gonna take 2 minutes. But I'm gonna cast Gentle Repose, and I'm just gonna explain to them both. This might help if you lose him in the next 10 days. It might not. It's the best I can do. I wish there was more I could do, leaving him like this, but this will give you more time to bring him back. At least in the next 10 days. If something happens.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, it might be easier if we do lose him. We have a couple of people on our payroll that could bring him back. We'd have to owe them a big favor for that, but not impossible. And you see Hadrian kind of respond with, I don't know if we'll see. I'm getting the feeling that there's a possibility that what we'd be bringing back would not be Brahm.
Hopefully this spell helps with that. Should protect at least the body for a while if something happens. Maybe his soul too, since it's cast while he's still somewhat attached. Not fully. I don't know. But there's so much happening in the city that I wish I could stay and help, but I don't. I realize you don't need my help. I'm just getting in the way.
Well, not to make the feeling or matters worse for you, but considering your recent presentation of skill, I promise you there'll be use for you, of course, but I understand you're needed and need to be elsewhere. And Hadrian responds, yeah, of course.
You should know, missing. He wanted to kill you, or they wanted to kill you. If only to prove a point. I think that's all they wanted. They're arrogant, they're so proud. They're a danger.
Hadrian looks at you. I'll be careful, but if I may, arrogant, proud, dangerous. If I had 3 middle names, dear, We lost you there for a second, Kiki.
Did you? Can you hear me?
There we go. Yep. Yeah, just bring it.
Okay.
Mike was just a weird warble.
8 minutes. That's all it took for them to kill Rasha.
Like I said, I'll be careful. Francis, can you... Or would you rather adjourn to...
Yes, let's... I need to leave early. I think we're leaving very early.
Francis kind of picks up on this. Well... It's good to have you back, friend.
She's gonna hug him.
Kisses you on the side of the cheek. Kind of like holds your hands.
I hope I can come back one day.
When you come back, I promise, I'll either be dead or still look this good.
You better.
Laughs at that, kind of squeezes your hands and walks out as you guys walk out from the hallway.
And then, of course, go to the master bedroom.
Yeah. As you do, go ahead.
Go for it.
I guess I'll roll for it just to be safe. Okay. He's a little pensive at first. Go ahead and do what you're going to do.
I know we only have a few hours left. But it feels like all I've done since I came back is made a mess of everything here, of your life here. I'm sorry.
In my own house. I imagined, of all people, if it was something from Yori or Prim, maybe. I mistook that tie and vest as a modicum of someone understanding respect.
He scares me a little. He's capable of a lot and only getting more powerful. But I made a deal with him, and he's going to help me get my daughter back.
I will be working on my end to try to find a way to at least be able to contact you through the planes. I have people. Might be able to make that work. Just promise me that you'll be safe, and if you're not safe, then you run. Please.
I will. Until I get my daughter back, I can make that promise. But once she's back, there's these beings, they're so powerful. They're one wrong word and I could. When I went into the sky with Brahm, when I saw La'ahad, one wrong word and he could have had me. There's a chance I don't come back from this.
Don't say that. Why would you say that right now?
Because 7 years. And then I came back and blew up your life again, and then I don't want you to sit here and wait if I'm never gonna make it back. You deserve better than me.
I'm sure you've been taken over by someone else, because the woman that I know and have come to love and have not stopped loving would never give up and say those words. Fate, destiny, all of it. To hell with that. My place our place is with each other. And bringing Maeve into that is at the forefront of my mind. I do not wish to hear any talk like that in my house again tonight.
Let's just be together the last few hours at least. I left 7 years ago, and I know you probably don't remember the night, at least not how it happened. But I left thinking I'd come back. And I never did. And it feels like history's repeating itself.
I've been very fond at paying too close attention to history. But I hear what you're saying. And if there are choices and things that go along down the line that bring you to feel like that is an impending reality, I ask you to just do what I would be doing. Telling it, them, she, he, whatever, to go fuck themselves. Because I love you. And there is no force that is going to keep that from being anything but 100% true. I think while he's saying that, he's kind of grabbing your hand, just like kind of like putting it to his chest.
And I love you too. And she's gonna kiss him.
I think from there we fade to black. Evan, can you hear us okay? You're muted on EVMux. There we go.
Yeah, that should do it. Cool.
See? Where do we find Yori?
Okay, so I wanted to ask, Prim was out there like kicking a tree for a little bit at least, starting to kick a tree and Yori did have an interest in trying to talk to Prim. Do you think he would have been like? Could he have heard the tree kicking and kind of like wandered out to see what was going on?
I do. I think if we want to say like I'll say the thing that would like, yeah, let's just say it's a story here, right? Yeah, I think there's a point where it's like Yori's there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like he wouldn't have interrupted at all.
Right.
But would Prim have that? Like the biggest question is, would Prim have like stopped that conversation if he had been there? Because otherwise he won't. But you know, yeah, would Prim have noticed and kind of stopped it because he wouldn't. The idea is that after that conversation, you would have been just sitting there, kind of, you know.
Right. Yeah, that's a question, not a role.
Yeah.
I'll say for Prim.
If she didn't know that you were there, that conversation would have happened as is. But if she knew someone else was there, there was a lot of aspects of the conversation that she assumed that she was alone with Beryl about, that Beryl knew, to kind of play off of her being vulnerable in the moment.
Right. So is there a possibility that maybe Yori, you heard the kicking, maybe like kind of like saw them kicking the tree and then had to take your time in going around to try to get to them, and that was the
and then like you caught like the end of it and saw Beryl fading, the little fart cloud fading away.
Yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely, yeah, just kind of like I think maybe just in those last moments that he's just kind of he sees that you're doing something and he kind of sits down and waits for it, but it's only the last few. It's the awkward conversation ending part.
Yeah,
like that's all he gets.
Yeah.
And just,
cool.
Yeah. By the way, can he see that? Is that like, is Beryl like an actual kind of a visual manifestation of himself there? Like.
Yeah, I'd say like the like sort of like astral projection sort of thing is like it's I would say if Yori had ever seen a ghost, it was like less it was more ethereal than a ghost. Like it was more like wisp, sort of like faint outline sort of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So I think like that conversation ends. And there's that sort of like, I mean, sure, I'm sure to a certain extent, Prim has an intuition, or like, you know, Prim has pretty good senses and kind of knows he's there to a certain extent, but is also just kind of processing the last few moments.
Do you want me to play out that end?
Yeah, sure,
sure.
Sure.
Okay. After Beryl evaporates, there's this kind of quiet moment for Prim where she's standing there and she is like loosening the scarf around her neck, almost trying to like separate herself from it. And then like after a second she pulls it back and she kind of pulls it back tight again. And she just kind of listens to the leaves rustling in the wind of the tree that she just kicked the shit out of, and kind of taking in what Beryl had said about the tree and growth and regrowth and seasons. And she just kind of takes a moment and just, what an odd man. What a good friend.
You know, beetles have a lot more meat than people think they do.
And she just slowly turns around. Hi, Yori.
I never know how to... people do that thing where they're quiet for a while, and I don't... It's like... Well, they're scoria beetles because they're like the bigger beetles that they heard, and so they're you know, because insects, people don't like to eat them, but there's more meat than people think, and it's not bad. Snorri wouldn't eat it because he said he wouldn't eat an insect or a bug, but it was just a him thing. But we ate them a lot.
Yeah? Did they taste good, or did you need to season them decently?
Oh, we didn't really do seasonings so much. there was some
maybe.
sort of ashy salt type stuff. I thought they were good at the time, and then I got to Eriscar, and I tasted a paste tree, and that was like the best thing I've ever had until I had a cookie in a dream, and then that was the best thing I ever had. And I haven't gotten I came out here because
As a DM, I have to know. Did Yori say paste tree?
Yep.
Or
he
did
said
Evan
paste
say
tree.
paste tree? Oh my
He
god,
said
that's
paste
so
tree.
fucking good. So good. Paste
Yeah.
tree.
Just gonna be a little blunt with this. How much of that conversation did you hear?
Oh, I don't, so a lot of the people here tend to talk to people who aren't there, and I've kind of just learned to tune it out. So I heard like something about, it was weirdly like about a conversation, like he's like not good at ending, which is true because I'm not good at it either, and I could recognize that, but I didn't hear anything. If there was supposed to be anything secret, I didn't hear anything. Of course, if I did, I would tell you. That's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't have a thing people have, where you stop this.
Yeah.
Usually, Alistair stops me.
That was Beryl. He was the one who taught me how to get the arm in the helmet. When we get back from the Feywild, I promised that I would go visit him. If you want to tag along to see someone who is, a master of that craft, I think he'd be more than happy to share a story or two with you.
Is the skin really made out of stone?
Yeah.
That's all. I'm definitely surviving the Feywild. For sure.
Yeah. Hey, that's the right mentality, right? That's what you were talking about?
Yeah. I mean, we've all survived so far.
Why stop now?
Yeah. And we fought a lot of stuff. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. You were in Azumare, right?
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Were you there in the last, I guess it was not more than 6 months ago, or something like that? Around that time. Maybe longer. Yeah.
I haven't been back to Azumare in well over 5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there it wasn't that long ago. But you know about the pits.
Yes, yeah, I was one of I worked as a cook for the pits. I wasn't necessarily.
Oh, did you make that thing? It's like meat and then kind of like mushed up.
But it's not like actually meat?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can tell. I did eat a lot of beetles. Mostly where I'm from, we had some, so there was beetles, and they also they herded some, we sometimes got wyvern eggs, but mostly those were just sort of tossed on a fire and charred, and then it was good at the time, but yeah, there was also these things like a kind of root vegetable, and it was mostly all mashed up. I think maybe they just put it all together, but it was actually pretty good. Did you make that?
It's one of those things where the pit fighters were given meals to basically make sure that they could survive while they were waiting for their fights. So you were given meats, carbs, and high levels of things that probably aren't good for you for a long period of time, but in reality, you saw not many people made it very long in the pits anyways. So,
well, not the people that I fought, but mostly didn't fight people. They like to do like a thematic thing because it was like a fairy thing. So they were like, oh, he's going to fight some dark fairies, but it was really just kobolds and like wings. And then There was. People need to come up with better names because there's so many giant things. It's just like giant scorpion, giant slug, giant goose. You know,
Get some originality in there.
right? You know, but I didn't.
I want the giant goose fight. I want that fight.
It's just
We'll
Jerry
do a one
again.
shot.
Yeah, let's do a one shot giant goose fight.
It's the area of effect on the honk.
Wait till you learn about the goose hydra. So
I
much.
was gonna say we'll do a goose hydra. You heard it here,
Yes.
folks.
Yes.
No, no, I mean, I used to shuck potatoes till my hands were raw with blisters and calluses.
Oh,
Mm.
you didn't like? Did you measure anything with them?
No? Well, I mean, used to be a lot better at counting, but
It's not. Yeah, the other reason I came out is this is gonna sound weird. Do you want to fight? You sound kind of stressed, and sometimes when I'm stressed, I kind of like to fight. And I got these new gauntlets, and I don't know
Yeah?
what they do yet, but I thought, you know, I could try them out. We could try them out, and maybe you know, it's okay if you hit me. That's fine. That's, you know, it's what. But you seem pretty strong, and like, you know, we don't need to like tear down the air. You were kicking a tree, pretty hard.
yeah, I made some realizations tonight that that had upset me. Oh, I do want to fight, but in this moment, I am exhausted. It's been a long couple of days. I mean, I've only been out of jail for what, 4 hours, 5 hours at this point? How about we make sure we're both up to our greatest potential, and then we'll duke it out.
Okay. Definitely. Everyone did seem pretty tired. It's been a long couple days.
Yeah. Well, now it's about to get real wonky.
Should I not hit that tree though? You seem like you were like it was
No.
a thing, maybe.
Sorry, when leave the tree alone.
Okay. Yeah.
It's had enough. It's had enough of a beating. I guess, as my master says, you know, don't hit something that can't hit back.
Oh, but you should definitely hit the trees in the Feywild because they can definitely hit back.
You know, he mentioned that.
Yeah. I mean, everything can hit back, but then you can't hit everything. I can't hit everything right now, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well.
I know it's not
We're-
the answer you wanted, but
No, it's okay. We're gonna fight later.
exactly. Look, I'm willing to take a full hit from those gauntlets. Not in
I
the
don't know what
moment.
they do yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. Might as well figure it out. Who gave you those? Anyway,
cat.
they look. A cat?
Well, kind of. He was kind of a grumpy cat, and I had to kind of take them, I guess. Like they were, but he was okay with it, or he liked that I took them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite. I ran out afterwards, which is, I guess, what you do when you. But it's the second time I've done that with something.
Oh.
But it was the cat. There's a cat in town.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you stole from this cat. Sure, that's fine. That's good. Whatever. You know.
The point is now I have gauntlets.
Yeah. You don't know what they do though.
Yeah, but it's okay. I'll find. What
Do
about?
you really need to figure this out tonight?
What a crazy thing to ask a child. What a crazy thing.
Okay, you know.
We
let's
can
just-
wait. There's got to be like a rock or a rock's okay.
I mean, my master is a literal rock, so I feel like it's a little.
He didn't.
You know what? Okay, fine. Let's do this.
I think you hear through the ether, I'm a mineral.
Ugh.
No, you don't. You don't hear that. That doesn't happen.
just just Prib's face of just.
What is around? Just like we're outside, kind of in a courtyard type, around the manor, I suppose, and like.
I mean, there's I was gonna say there's a stone manor wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that.
There's a Prim. Prim has accepted.
No,
this.
I'm definitely gonna hit the wall. Yeah, like I was. If there was a fence at all, that's what it was gonna hit.
I was gonna say, I immediately kind of switched to Prim's picture. I just want to make sure you guys all got like a good look at it, just to make sure you guys kind of understood.
Yeah. This is what we could have had, and
this is what you could have had, and Hannah, I'm just so happy that you brought this character to us. No, of course not. Cool. Yeah, so Yori, we'll kind of like let's say walk me through this. You like putting the gauntlets on, all that stuff.
Yeah, okay. So I think actually it was kind of like while he was asking, he was like, "Hey, do you want to fight?" And he was kind of putting them on during that, just like to, because that's what he wanted to test out. And he was like, "I got these new gauntlets," and so probably about. Unless he feels something happen from putting them on, he would just be continuing talking. And then basically, as soon as we got to that point, it was just like, doesn't know what to do. The conversation's kind of hard. How do you end a conversation? And his end is just going to be to turn and punch the stone wall.
You got it. Cool. Great. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's a 19.
Great. Cool. You see, sorry, Prim, you see Yori, say, "Do you want to fight?" And conversation happens, and the decision was no. And so Yori says, "Okay, cool. I'm going to hit this wall." And then you see Yori hit the wall. And a weird sort of moment of like this like electrical energy that seems to kind of like catch a vine nearby that like kind of like bursts into flames, kind of like shoots up the wall for a second as you see the wall itself seem to cave in from the punch, and you see Yori just go down unconscious.
This is the best way to test magic items. Identify as stupid.
Yeah, identify stupid. This is punch
I
walls.
100% agree with you as the wizard.
She's gonna like walk over and like kind of shake him a little bit. Like, are you okay? Like,
Yeah, cool. We'll cut from there. Sweet. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yori. Oh, sorry. Yori. You wake up. You hear the sound similar to what you had heard in coming up to Prim. The sound of the heavy thwack, thwack, thwack. You hear rumbling under the earth. It's soft earth. You're not in Dare's Wharf. There's never really any patch of grass that isn't immediately preceded by hard stone. This is a forest. You look and you don't have the gauntlets on your hands.
Prim? Alistair?
Thwack. Thwack.
Fenrir?
Keep hearing sounds of a forest, but you don't see anyone is with you here.
I try to open my wings and fly up.
Give me a athletics check, we'll say.
$18.
With an 18, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Sure. 17.
The 17, you, as you start to extend yourself out, the wings shoot out, and you bring yourself upwards over towards the canopy of the trees as you're starting to notice some of them rustling. And you see, as you are preoccupied with that, you see a vine shoot out, grabs your ankle before you can do anything, and sends you flying down to the ground. You feel pain, but you're aware of what it feels like when your body is... You're aware of what pain feels like in a lasting sense, that I could die from this. It feels different. It feels weird. It's still physical. You can still feel the ache, but I think maybe in like a second's time, you feel it kind of go away as you see this tree lean its branches down to you, and a face opens up from the wood. This crackling, creaking. What are you doing here?
I don't know, and I'm not agreeing to anything.
You see behind this tree with its face extended out towards you, it's the wrinkles of the wrinkles and knots of the trees forming a perfect sort of, a perfect yet distortedly ugly face. You see it all of a sudden kind of like disappear as there is a heavy of a tree behind it. You're distracting us. And you see it move back and starts to attack the other tree. These trees are fighting each other. You hear the thwack, which is a branch hitting the other branches.
Am I in the Feywild?
What?
Am I in the Feywild? I had gauntlets. I put them on and I punched deep.
You see it like lean closer as this face that is the size of Yori goes down as close as it possibly can. Its crooked, dark brown nose almost touching the tip of Yori's. What gauntlets are these?
You know, they had. Some of the, like, one of the one for fire, but it wasn't. I don't know if they were all the ones that fire, water, earth.
You see the tree kind of extend up, kind of goes large, and stops as you see one branch extend out, pointing towards a direction.
Okay. Thank you. And he'll start going in that direction. As he goes, he reaches into his pocket to try and find something that he hasn't actually had in a long time. It was an acorn. Someone had once given him a long time ago, but it was eaten by a rat, so it shouldn't be there, but he reaches for it as a sort of like, you know how when you're nervous, you have a thing that maybe you rub a little bit that you just kind of hold between your hands, and so he reaches into his pocket for that, but he starts walking in that direction.
Okay. As you walk towards that direction, you find things that at first seem odd and strange and fascinating until you immediately recognize that you actually recognize these creatures. You see a frog with these butterfly wings extended out. You see its eyes are much bigger than its body. You see its tongue kind of like waving lazily as it just... And there's those moments as you see other creatures of the forest, things that you do not remember, but you're familiar with. As you walk through, it's almost like the forest itself seems to be perfectly situated to giving you a path that is just the right width for you. It's so bright and so beautiful in here. The colors. Creatures. Everything is brand new, but you're not really sure why there is that sinking feeling in your stomach. As if you're in a home that you no longer want to be in. As you continue forward, you see there is a shadowy, dark tree that the shadow it casts doesn't make sense based on its size. And it goes down deep. You see there is a figure that is, for a moment, seems to be maybe standing until you see that they're sitting, but extended up higher, almost as if on a makeshift throne. As you stare at this figure walking closer, you're at the cusp of where this kind of basin kind of goes in, of just land, of just grass. I'd like you to give me a perception check.
A 10.
10, it's too dark. You have to get closer.
As he gets closer, he starts kind of under his breath talking backwards, from not speaking literally backwards, but like Prim kicking a tree, Kara talking to Missing, Alistair casting a spell, sandwiches.
Give me
You know,
a
he's
dex-
speaking backwards in time, trying to sort of, you know, link himself back towards that kind of thing.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
14.
As you're saying these things, you're not really sure if it's you just losing your footing or the grass just deciding to give way under your feet. You slide all the way down to the very bottom, 20 feet below from where you started. And you see this creature, as you have stopped maybe only about 10 feet from it. As you're starting to pick yourself up from it, you see from the feet up. They're not feet, but hoofs. Massive, muscular, brown legs covered in fur. All the way up to the waist. You see from the left-hand side, the fur continues upward, but the right side looks to be humanoid, massive. This figure's 10 feet tall. As you look in on the face, you see the heterochromia of a green eye and a fiery red eye. This figure is in a position of holding its head in its hands, but looks up looks down. He sees you on the ground. You immediately hear him start to speak in Sylvan. What brings you here, fairy?
He speaks back in common. What brings anyone anywhere here? I was there, and then I was here. That's how it works. I punched a wall. I put on some gauntlets. Prim kicked a tree. Kara met with Missing.
As you say these things, you feel the basin itself seem to extend up, its walls extend around you, the tree itself seems to get bigger as the figure kind of picks himself up from his throne, and you see his body, his body has tattoos all over it of runic symbols that are now glowing. You dare do not speak your native tongue here. Are you half-breed, boy?
And then he switches to giant, and he says, "This is my native tongue, and I'm not that person, and this is not a dream, and I'm still the person. I'm stronger than I was."
You see a big smile come across his lips, pointed teeth on the top, but square at the bottom. I know that tongue. And what makes you strong?
Snorri used to say that it's the story that makes you strong. I'm strong because I know that I'm strong, and because other people rely on my strength. They believe in my story. Also, I can hit things really hard.
It seems that you have something that does not belong to you. I wonder if your story would bring you to me, so that I may test if you're worthy of them. And you see the runes start to kind of like pop up around his body, almost in different forms. You see like the Sylvan rune for water, fire. None of these are giant runes, by the way.
Right. It's not the first time I've been tested. I passed the test for my armor. I passed the test for my name. I can pass the test for some gloves.
Then the Rune King accepts your challenge. Come see me, boy, and you may borrow them for a while.
So long as it's a fight, I look forward to it.
As I've missed those gloves, as you call them, for some time.
I'll show them to you up close.
And you hear that laughter kind of like echo from this, as almost as if it's its own chamber, as the basin itself seems to kind of grow larger and the tree seems to loom over, almost completely covering Yori in the shadow as it goes up. And as the trees pull back, you see Prim's face.
Yori, hey, you good? Oh, there you are. Back up.
This
Please don't punch me with
it's
those.
not a oh yeah. It's not a Okay. Yeah. I think I punched a wall and then I went
Take a
to a
second.
place and I saw a guy. That's not particularly what I do. Did the gloves look cool?
Mentioning it, did the gloves look cool? You look down at them right now and you see there's a heavy rune that you noticed from the base of the wrist that was that was the rune for fire, and and on the other side the rune for water. These are Sylvan runes. As you see them reflecting off, you see now they are glowing a bright orange and blue.
Oh, they look really cool now.
Yeah, the wall is definitely damaged.
You see Gerald pokes his head out. Hello, is there a reason why we're...
Don't
There are many
ask.
doors.
Oh, I will. We can in the
It's like a
morning.
test. Yeah. Is there more than one of you?
Use a door. You see him disappear from the hall.
So, are you okay? Let me just start there. You were out for a good second.
A second? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been out a lot longer than that. Wait. Ah. Stupid Fey time.
How long was he out for? Was it like a brief or
I
was
like
it
it. I like it. You said it.
Okay.
It's like they're trying to it's like a joke, you know, because then you come back and you go, oh, guess what happened to me? And people go, you were only gone for a second. And, you know, it's just, there's like better jokes, you know.
I wanted to make sure that you were okay, which it seems
Yeah.
that you are. Up and at 'em.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. That scared me, but I'm good.
Yeah, I guess it's good that I didn't hit you with it for the first test.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I almost agreed to that in the end. Thank goodness that wall was there. Yeah, that would have hurt a lot. Cool. Well, they do something, so that's a plus. You've got the gauntlets and.
Well, they glow, they look cool, and I'll
What's the
figure it
glowy
out.
bit? Are those
Well, they're-
important?
Do I recognize the runes, by the way? Like, kind of above, like, you know.
I think because you do read Sylvan, it's up to you
Right.
whether or not your character is like having trouble based on like time and like things that you've
Right, I
spent
think there's a
less
certain
time
amount, but I think also because, I mean, if you're talking about those types of runes, like, you know, I think there's a certain amount of study or things that would have been done by either Snorri or by, you know, the giants, that it's sort of like runes in different areas, that kind of magic as well. Like, so I think you
Right.
recognize it at least close enough at this point, and you know,
Yeah.
So, yeah, there it's like fire and water, and I met, you know, like maybe I met a guy with hooves in the Fae who he had eyes that were kind of like these, and
Yori, roll
yeah.
me either a history check or a nature check, and then tell me which one it is.
okay. That's a nature check. That's a nat 20 for a 19.
I love that you said a nature check. Because in my head, that means that you didn't know this, but it just came to you. The being that you saw was known as a she, or specifically a Lianan she. A highly magical Fey creature who called themselves the Rune King.
Oh yeah. It's a she.
Huh?
Not. It's a kind of. It's one of the creatures in this. I think they said they're the Rune King, which seems a little bit kind of like, presumptuous, because there's like a lot of runes and a lot of different people who use runes. So like to be the Rune King but it's still a pretty cool name. But he challenged me, which.
I wonder if you could claim that title for yourself.
That would be cool. I've met maybe 2 creatures from the Fae in the last day, and I made deals with both of them.
You're really
Can
good
you
at
help me
following
not do
your
that
advice.
when we get in there?
Yeah.
Just remind me. I mean, this Rune King seemed pretty cool, and I think he just wants to fight. And like, if that's the deal, I'll fight.
That sounds like a lot of fun, in all honesty. And I mean, if you could also somehow claim the title of Rune King, I feel like that would be really cool.
I didn't even think about that, but that is really cool. Yeah.
Like if you take him out, and then now you have the title of the Rune King, and then like if your armor gets like runes, like other. Sorry, I'm getting too into this. This is cool. How about what we do is let's go to bed, because I'm tired. It's late. I will tell you a story about one of Adelia's fights. How does that sound?
Okay, well, I'm not a little kid that needs to be told a bedtime story.
Do you want a bedtime story?
But yes, please.
I more was inferring because it sounds like you want one, not that you need one.
Yeah, I like stories.
Exactly. Why not share a little joy in that? All right, let's go.
Okay, but I sleep in the library.
We can go to the library. That's fine.
Okay.
I've slept. To be fair, I debated on sleeping in the tree because, kind of, it's fine. Anyways, yes, let's go to the library.
Okay.
We cut away from there. We come back to Gwen and Alistair's room. Alistair, eventually you're going to sleep.
Yes, eventually I go to sleep.
You wake up. You hear the whistling, familiar whistling sound of the wind. But you don't see the palace. You don't see the desert sand where you start. You see only darkness. Do you take a step forward?
Do I have my cane with me?
You do.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I take a stride forward.
So you take one step forward, expecting to feel the push of sand or gravel stone wherever you are. And you hear a shallow splash. And a voice. I was hoping to have it ready for you before we needed to speak. But it seemed that this needed to happen sooner rather than later. And you see Undula seem to appear out of the darkness. Hi, Alistair.
Underlith. What have you been up to?
It's going to be great. I promise. And from that, we will end tonight's session. We'll see you guys next week.